guys, welcome to Study in Philly. I'm Ivy here, and today I would love to make another videos about quadratic equation, which will help you to solve the quadratic equation. At the first video, I already show you what is quadratic equation and why you have to learn it, and especially I already show you about the form, the original form, and also the graphing form, and I hope you still remember it. I hope so. And now I will show you how to solve the equations in 3 ways. And now let's get started. Let's move on and find out how to solve the quadratic equation. So I will give you 3 forms of quadratic equation in here. You just need to understand that this is not only 3 forms of quadratic equation. Actually, quadratic equations are performed in many ways. So this is the 3 regular form that I think you can recognize it on your in your test, in your exam immediately when you see it. So this first equation you will use is to solve them in algebraically. The second one is when you factor the first one into the second one and calculate it quickly without a calculation. So this is really helpful for you, and I will show you how to use that method in the next slide. Right? So the final one, do you remember it? This is the graphing form of quadratic equation. If you not remember it, I will have a quick review for you in the next slides. So the final ones, I will use it in graphing. So it's quite easy for you, and it's really a helpful tool for you to use in graphing. So you just need the equation and a paper, and then you just follow the direction I will guide you, and then scratch it. You don't need the first solution. You don't need the first quadratic equation. You don't need the second one, or even you don't need the solution of this. You don't need everything. You just need the graphing form, and then you graph it directly, very easy. So the first method is solve it algebraically. So when I say about solve it algebraically, you will easily imagine about the original function that I already show you. This is the original function. So why I call this original? Because from this function you can factor it in many ways as you like, as you want, and depends on your purpose. So this is in like the original function. So I will give you the formula in here. So I really don't know how to call this symbol in English, but now I just call this triangle. So sorry for that, but I will call this triangle because it's easy for me and for you guys to understand it. So I will give you the formula in here. This is the formula, the first formula you need to learn if you want to solve the quadratic equation algebraically by the formula. So I really don't know how to call this symbol in English, but I will call this a triangle for you, easy to imagine and also easy for me. So sorry for that. And this is the formula for you to calculate the triangle. So why you have to calculate this triangle? So this is the reason why. So if when after calculating you see that the triangle have the value greater than 0, so it will have 2 solutions. So if equals 0, it will have 1 solution, and if it lower than 0, there is no solution. So let's see, this is the example for the triangle greater than 0. So it will have 2 solutions, and the 2 solutions in here is exactly the x-intercept of the parabola. So I will give you more detail about the parabola in the next slide, okay? So this one is the example for the quadratic equation, which have 1 solution. So in here they just have 1 x-intercepts. So finally, this is the example of the triangle less than 0, no solution, so no x-intercepts. It's quite easy, right? Let's move on. Here you can see this is the formula. So when I was in Vietnam, I usually use it in order to calculate the solution of the quadratic equation. So here you can easily replace this by the triangle. So you just need to replace this complicated stuff into a triangle, and you will have the negative b plus or minus square root a triangle. That's it. So it's quite easy for you. If you are able to remember all these equation, I think that you should use the equation, but because it's quite easy to remember. But I'm not appreciate this because it's not so logically, it's not stimulate your brain working harder. So I hope that you will follow the next method. This is also solve the quadratic equation algebraically, but you use the other method for this original equation. If a equal 1, so I will give you the method to solve the problem logically. So this one I really appreciate you to use this method, and the quadratic equation is really simple or easy to calculate. Please use this one, it's much more faster. So in here is the way to solve it. So at the first thing, please don't look at the left, just look at the right. So you see here, x squared plus c, x plus d. So the only thing you just need to do in here is factor c and d. So c will be a plus b and d will be a times b. Can you see it? This factor is like is plus a times is plus b. So when you distribute it into here, you will receive the exactly equation as here. I think it's not hard to understand, right? I think it is the fastest way to factor a quadratic equation when a equal 1. Really like it. Because in Vietnam, I always use the formula to solve all the quadratic equation, and sometimes I have to use the calculation because the number is so hard to calculate. So for this way, it's much more easier, and especially it's not waste much your time to typing on your calculator. Oh, like a mess. So let's move on. So definitely you will have a question. So how can I solve it if a greater than 1? So if a greater than 1, you will have the other method to solve it. So don't worry about anything. You will have many ways to solve one problem in math. So in here, So here you see if a greater than 1, I will show you the method. So it have 5 steps. So you just need to follow these 5 steps and you will definitely find the solution rapidly. So the first step is you will see the original function here, and then you just need to multiply the a times c, and I will put the value of a times c is d, so you have the small equation in here. So the next step, you just need to replace, so I just replace a times c into d because it's easy for you to look at. The second step is you don't need to concern about this one if it's too complicated, but if you think it's easy, you should have a look through this one and I will explain for you. Multiply the a times c, you will receive the equation which one has a equal 1. So now can you realize the fact here? The fact here is you will see the equation with a equal 1, and now you apply the previous method to solve this equation. That's easy, right? So here you just like factor it into w and z. So b will be w plus z and d will be w times z. And have a quick look. You just need to have a quick look at d. So which number will multiply together and create d? So just have a quick look, and which number will plus together and create b? So which two numbers are fit to b and d? So you just put it in the equation in the second step and you will receive the equation rapidly. It's easy, right? So I will give you the example in the exercise section. The third step is you You just need to divide the resulting number into the factor by a. So why you have to divide by a? Because you already multiply the a times c at the first step. So it's simple as when you borrow money of somebody, so you have to pay back them, and now this is the way you pay back a for the x. So when you divide it, divide this one and this one by a, and the fourth step is simply to whole numbers if possible. This is step number 5. If not possible with either factor, make the denominator of that fraction the coefficient of x in that factor. So just you should need to time back the a, and that's it. I think if you cannot understand it, please comment and let me know. I think it's not hard to understand it, because in the step 3, if the w or the z can divide by a, so just leave it there. But if it is not, so just multiply the a back to x. So that's it, and you will receive the solution, right? So thank you for watching my videos. I hope that you can gain some things in my videos and it's really helpful for you. I really appreciate if you have any concern or any problem want to discuss, please leave it in the comments below, and we will together solve the problem. So see you in the next video.